Holy smokes, are we live?
We're super live.
Salvete, and welcome to episode 1 of Mortal Rolls. Welcome. We are so pumped and excited to be here and presenting our, whatever you call this, to you. We literally are just a couple of guys and gals that love role-playing, telling stories, learning new games, and making each other laugh while doing it. And we are also excited to present to you this homebrew adventure where we learn Pathfinder 2nd edition rule system. This literally is the first game that we're playing as Pathfinder 2e. So we're excited to learn it and teach it and learn it while we do this. Oh man. Okay, well tonight we are streaming live from the Half-Eaten Chocolate Bar province of Alberta. And Supernatural, because that's where the show was shot in British Columbia. And of course, that is all in a little place we call Canada. But let's not forget the Garden State, New Jersey, where we are also streaming from. And again, so pumped for you guys to be here. My name is Tone Vera. I'm your host, Game Master, and dare I say, Emperor of Games in our adventure this Monday night and every Monday night for the foreseeable future, at least 3 weeks. No, maybe longer. I should read the contract, but really, Monday nights, I'll be here. And with me are my peoples that need no introduction. And well, that I'm so glad to be on not only this fantasy adventure, but this real life adventure of doing a bucket list thing. This, you know, we talked about it. We dreamed about streaming. I am so happy to be here with the most creative and wonderful and loveliest people that I know. And please introduce yourselves from shortest to tallest.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Ree. I am really happy to be here, really excited to play. Everyone here is amazing. We've worked hard, spent a lot of time figuring out these characters and the story. We're really excited to share it with you, and we hope that it's fun for everyone.
Great job. No demerits for you.
Thank you.
First time for everything. No demerits, Ree. Good job. We're so proud of you.
So proud of you. I think I'm the next shortest. Hi.
Cool.
What are we doing?
Just a quick introduction. that's your time slot right there.
I have ADHD and I forgot what we were supposed to be doing, but I think we're playing Pathfinder, and I think that I am playing as Morrowind. I can't remember.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, we're going to get into characters in just a moment here. So no spoilers.
I don't know.
All right. And next we have...
What's up, y'all? It's your girl K-Sue here. We're so excited for you guys to be here and like witness this awesome journey that we're on. It's been a wild ride. Yeah, we're so pumped for you guys to be here. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
And finally,
wait a sec, because I feel like that we're doing this by height gap, and there's a large gap to me.
There's a larger gap.
Not that tall.
I'm Keegs. I'll be playing Oren. Realizing that I need to turn the mic sound up, so sorry. We'll see if that helps. Really excited. It's going to be great.
Oh, awesome. It absolutely is. Thank you. We are so, nervous. Well, let me ask this question, guys. What are you most excited about this campaign that we're going to be diving into? And what are you excited about the Pathfinder system?
Chippermonks, the Squirrelions, and the Armored Toads. That's what I'm most excited about.
Yes, we are so excited to find out what all that is.
I think for me, like we've been playing D&D for so long, where like the same system, and Pathfinder is so different and very unique, and there's a lot of new things coming to Pathfinder, new things for us to figure out how to use the system. So it's going to be a learning process, but I'm excited for all the like new details.
Oh, 100%.
I am excited for a new feat every other level. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
I am super cool to show off Anatis.
Anatis.
Nation. Our new nation. And show off our map that we worked so hard on. And I'm just excited to play with you guys. And I am excited to be working with a pantheon. Mythology is my Rome. So mythology is my Roman Empire. So I'm super excited.
Oh, totally. And last but not least, Ree, any thoughts?
Yeah.
What are you most excited about? Goodness, it's been an adventure actually prepping your character. I feel like really dive deep into it.
Yes, I tend to dive deep into everything, particularly when it comes to character development. So I'm really excited to get to experience all of this with everyone, with you guys watching, and with this wonderful group here. I'm excited to be trying out a new system. I too am very D&D savvy by now. Pathfinder is new to me. Love learning new things, having new experiences. So really excited to get to try it out in earnest.
Yes, awesome. I love Paizo company. I played Starfinder first time, really kind of diving deep into from D&D to Starfinder, which is the sci-fi kind of version of Pathfinder. It was awesome, but never played second edition, which is different from what Starfinder is. So I'm really excited to get to play in this system, especially on the Foundry. We're using Foundry. So we made a switch. We were using something else. It was not a superior. And once we made the switch to Foundry, my goodness, what a difference. So for anyone out there who's thinking about doing a virtual tabletop, if you haven't checked out Foundry, check it out, because it definitely is worth it. So
I feel like
let's dive into,
if we really wanted to, I feel like Roll20, I mean, is where it's at. I mean, I'm not gonna be mean, but like it was my personal favorite, just gotta say. But you know, they all ganged up against me and were like, no, we need Foundry. Roll20's garbage, especially the tone. He was very dead set on it. But you know, we're here to try new things, and that's okay.
That's
we're
right.
Excited.
Yeah, if you want to
exactly went like that. Thank you.
sponsor us.
Yep. Well, I definitely spent a lot of money on another competitor, and it was quite sad to make the switch because, like, I spent so much money on that. But it's amazing how much money you save actually with Foundry. So, let's talk about what is Mortal Rolls. That's really why you guys are here. So it's a homebrew adventure that brings our players to the mysterious continent of Anatis, in the region controlled by the Ukumaran Empire. But that is not all. You see, the players are gods, and also an angelkin. That's not the secret. The secret is what happened to them, because now they find themselves down in the world as their mortal selves, trying to figure out who they are, what is happening, and see where it goes from there. The thing is that these celestials are going to find out whether some things are better left forgotten. And thank you for joining us on this adventure. So now it's time for a very quick segment of shout-outs, Monday night shout-outs. So first, a big shout-out. If you listen to the introduction song, a big shout-out to Autumn Orange, who's on Spotify, on Apple Music, and Bandcamp as Autumn Orange Lo-Fi. Please check them out, or check them out. And yes, and much love and support. And you'll see a couple maps that were also done and ultimately kind of put together by the lead of Autumn Orange. And of course, the art. I have to do a shout out for Reed, because the art from characters, for Reed, Keisu, with all the pizzazz that you're going to see on the loading screens and everything. And of course, all the social media from Sarah, who's, I don't know where you are on the thing, but anyways, I'm pointing to you. So huge shout out, of course, to Jess R, who I got your name right. Don't forget that. And and also a shout out to Harley, who is watching us, and he was very much a part of the journey in encouraging us to do this, and we love him for it. So that being said, let's dim the lights low and let's start the show, because let's play some mortal roles. The day was like any other. The cool breeze from the ocean complemented the heat from the summer sun. And standing on his balcony and staring across the vast waters of the Caligay Sea, Maccavius Hector Ignacio Hunt, head scholar of the Empire's University City, Apollos Sanctum, breathes in deeply. The air fills his lungs. He gives a slight prayer and thanks to Aquileus, the god of salt water and horses. Then he stands in amazement at something that brightens the sky. A new star? Or stars have been born. Perhaps a sign from heaven showing the gods' acceptance of the first year of the young Emperor Incitatus to rule this empire built to honor Jeus, the king of the gods, and those who live with him in Olympus. Now, it wasn't until the 5th year of the reign of Incitatus that it was discovered to be comets and not stars that brightened the night and remained visible during the day. The days were hotter during those years, and the comets were named the fallen stars of Maccavius Hector Ignacio Hunts, otherwise known as, well, he just called them the fallen stars. Scholars and their egos and whatnot. 5 more years passed, and what was once considered beautiful and wondrous was looked upon as a curse. For the world suffered as Mike Hunt's fallen stars hurled itself across the sky with fire and glory that made the skies burn red and yellow, and then in a flash, they were gone. And across the empire, meteorites struck the world beneath, causing more chaos and calamities. But these were not meteorites. No, these were those that fell. So let's introduce our characters, and they're going to share their first memories as they came to. We start from the far end of the empire, deep in the wilderness of the Hallowed, or otherwise known as the Hallows.
I was awoken by the smell of burning ash that was this bright light that hurt my eyes, and I remember that I felt angry and hungry, and I ran through the forest. I ran so fast and so long. The moons passed so quickly that I don't remember even coming back. But there was a man that appeared on the forest, and I remember not trying to eat him per se, but I was ravenous, you see. I was hungry, and he was there. But he spoiled my fun and had me come and live with him. Tried. Over many moon cycles he tried, and would throw me scraps here and there and would try to talk to me, and eventually I caved. And I went with him. Still nervous, but he had a little creature with him. His daughter, he said. Daughter. And her name was Corvina, but she so very much liked to be called Corvy. She was my little raven. Many moons passed, and we grew close and became a family. He eventually took me to the village that was not too far from where we lived, but far enough so I did not wander. And there were people there that were quite mean, not kind. There were rocks thrown at me, which I love rocks, but not those. They hurt and bit and just were not very nice. And there were men that were wearing robes, and they yelled, and they were so fierce and angry, and called me a bad omen. But nonetheless, the man took me home, and everything was peaceful and wonderful and magical. But then, one night they burst through the doors, and Corvy was screaming, and the man was not there. He was gone, and I was taken and thrown in a cage. And I don't like cages, you see. I don't like them. Cages are not... They're not soft, and I'm trapped. And then I was brought to the village, but then the man appeared, and he yelled to run, and my cage was open. I was free, and I ran, and I did not know where Corvy was. I could not find her or the man, but I ran. I listened, and I ran, but then after the moons came and went, there were more men with sharp sticks, and they captured me, and they took me onto their carriage that floated on the water like a stick upon the river. And they brought me down under and threw me in a cage, and I was cold and alone and frightened. I don't know how long I was there, until my cage opened, and I was free, and I did not ask questions. I ran until I found another forest, and then I was home, but not home, and safe, but not safe, but I was home, and I am alone. No one to call me by my name. What was my name? They called me Sabine.
Awesome. From there, close by to where the first meteorite hit, another struck the ocean.
I woke up, wet, cold, and alone, surrounded by sand and water. Where am I? Who am I? When I looked around, I saw abandoned and decayed ships everywhere. I decided to explore, finding myself in a large cage in the center of the island, hoping to find someone to help me. And I went in, instead finding mounds of treasure and gold, weapons, and goods of every kind. I found myself drawn to a particular piece of wood, an exquisite work of art, with the base carved to look like a seashell, and the neck made to look like a ship emerging from that shell. A beautiful lute. I picked up the instrument, and it felt like it truly belonged to my hands. I strummed a beat, finding my hands leading themselves to where they should be. A beautiful yet haunting tune played itself out in front of me. As the song concluded, I was startled by a cold, soft voice behind me. Well, that was beautiful. I whipped around to see a beautiful yet terrifying creature behind me, silent and menacing. What are you? I barely managed to whisper. What I am isn't nearly as interesting or curious as what you are. What is your name, child? Me? I don't know, I replied. I was in awe. The creature told me that she was a very old being that feeds off of memories, fear, and love. But I had none of those things. She then told me how she lured prey in through beautiful and enchanting music, and I was quite intrigued. She decided that I could be useful to her. I was so happy. I had a place and someone to take care of me. She taught me so much about music and words and lyrics, how to use them to manipulate the very air around me, how to get people to do what I wanted simply by playing the right strings. My lute became a part of me, my tool, my soul. One morning she woke me up. There was a ship on the horizon. Together we played a harmony of intrigue and excitement. The ship drew closer and closer. When the ship arrived, I invited the crew in for a feast. They left their ship without a second thought, running straight into the cave. They walked themselves directly into the cages that we had ready for them. It was beautiful and easy. But everything changed. She wasn't what I thought she was. I watched her pick out one of the crew members, a young and particularly terrified little man. She brought him out of the cage and into the dining hall and feasted on every memory and every fear and every ounce of love within him. It was horrifying. The poor lad was left a shell of flesh and bone, a scream forever plastered on his face. How could I have helped this happen? What had I done? I needed to make this right. I went to her that evening and I played for her a song of rest and deep slumber, and as she slept, I released the crew and we escaped together. Aboard their ship, they asked me my name, and I decided that I would take upon me the name of the crewmate that died, living to make up for what I did. I am Orin of Siren's Cove.
Chills. Now, on the other end of the empire, across from the Caliga Sea, across from the wilderness of the Hallowed, on the crossroads that lead outside one of the major centers known as Rimorum, we find another one of the fallen.
When I woke up, the world was warm and soft, but it was loud. It was so loud. There were goats, and there was a commotion in the street outside, and children were giggling.
Joe said not to bug her. She was in a storm.
I heard whispers very close to my face. I opened my eyes, and I was staring into the faces of 3 children.
Oh, Fates! She's awake! Run!
The little girl squealed before I heard a cacophony of footsteps running away. I also I heard somebody fall down the stairs. Okay, I remember hearing one of the children proclaim. Then I heard a gruff voice chastising the child. He called him Rusty. As I sat up and looked around, beside me there was a little table with a pitcher of water. And, that's the first nice thing I ever remember anyone doing for me. I took a big gulp of the cool water and I took in the modest room overlooking what appeared to be a shop. Getting up slowly, I noticed that I had been under a colorful quilt and there were little painted clay creatures at the foot of the bed. One had fallen and shattered. I wrapped myself in the soft quilt and I chuckled at the gifts that had been forgotten on the floor. Then a man came up the stairs and he had a great wide smile and big bushy salt and pepper beard, and he was carrying a small tray with a loaf of bread and some goat's cheese on it. He asked me how I was feeling and he mentioned that I'd taken quite a fall. That must be why I had such a headache. Truth be told, I had no idea how I felt. I was in a strange place with strange people. When I asked who he was, he told me his name was Johannes Flick, and those rapscallions who were in here were Penelope, Marcus, and Rusty. I was in his shop, Joe's Odds and Ends. He told me that there was a horrible dust storm, and when it cleared, he saw me in a moon-shaped crater. He didn't want to leave me alone out there, so he brought me here, and he kept an eye on me while I slept. It was really nice here. I could tell that there was love in all the details of this place, and it felt warm and inviting and safe. I took a deep breath and I looked down at the food, and I remember feeling so hungry. I must have been asleep for quite some time. As I ate, I felt a slight tug on my skirt. The little girl from before, Penelope, had come back. I recognized her big brown eyes and freckled nose from when I had first woken up. What's your name? Marco said you're our mom now, but Rusty said you weren't old enough to marry Joe. And Joe just keeps calling you that poor girl, but that's not a name. Joe blushed, but he'd obviously been very curious to know too. I didn't know my name, so I asked her what she thought my name should be. She scrunched up her nose and said, you were whining in your sleep. What about wine? Or win? I frowned. It wasn't bad, but I didn't love it. Soon, Marco and Rusty even joined in, and after several sleep and fainting-related suggestions, Penelope's eyes widened.
I've got it! It's perfect!
I smiled, and it felt good. So they called me Morwen.
Awesome. And last but not least, a meteorite fell outside of the city walls of Rimorum, down into a cemetery area.
I woke up slowly to the feeling of something sharp piercing my flesh. My limbs were heavy. I couldn't move, and there was a stinging, stabbing, no, a pecking, and it hurt. It hurt so badly, and a scream escaped my lips, a word, a name. I could feel it leave my throat, but I could not hear my own voice as the word reverberated and then evaporated into the air around me, fading away and taking with it, well, everything. I had no memory of where I was, no memory of who I was. The cursed bird, the vulture, took to the skies as I sat up with a start. The world around me was strange and unfamiliar. The smell of dirt and blood permeated the air. The smell of death. Suddenly, I became painfully aware of the sun beating down on my skin. It burned. I had to get away from the sun and its burning fire. I knew nothing, but I knew this. I had to get away. I wandered. I did not know for how long or how far I went. The city I would come to know as Rimorum crept up on me so slowly I barely noticed the change at first. Buildings stretched toward the sky, blocking the cruel sun's rays, and finally I could rest. But not for long. I felt a gentle tug at the hem of my skirt and looked down to see a boy staring up at me. His eyes were wide and brimming with tears. "Please, miss, please help me," he pleaded. How could I say no? The boy led me to an alley and pointed. It was dark, and by the time my eyes adjusted to the shadows, I felt a large hand grab onto my arm and pull me deeper into the darkness. I tried to scream, but a hand quickly covered my mouth. Before I could react, something went over my head, blocking out any remnants of light. The world was black. Sounds were muffled and far away. It was hard to breathe. I could feel my heart starting to race. Quick, shallow inhales as my panicked lungs strained for air, and suddenly everything stopped. The hands released me and I stumbled backwards. It felt like I was falling in slow motion. I reached out blindly for something to hold on to. A hand reached back, warm and solid, pulling me to my feet. As the hood was pulled away, I found myself face to face with a man. Familiar at first, but then his face seemed to change before my eyes. No, he was not familiar, but he was beautiful. He smiled at me, green eyes sparkling. "Hello, darling. You look like you need a friend," he said. The world seemed to fade away around us as I looked into those eyes. I think I nodded my head in agreement. It's hard to remember. "What's your name?" he asked. "I don't know," I told him. "I don't remember. I don't remember anything." "You can call me Trick," he said. "I'll take care of you." All I had to do was obey. It felt simple, natural. He took me back to his home, a grand estate along the outskirts of the city. "You need a name," he said, and he called me Eve.
As 10 years and 8 months pass by since the first sign of this in the signs of the heavens, the birth of the fallen stars, later comets, and later calamity. 10 years and 8 months. And we find ourselves in the city of Rimorum. Rimorum is a walled city close to the shore of the Calamity Sea and the surrounding waters. A city of prosperity. And certainly a place where one Morrowind has found herself a home in Joe's odds and ends, where she brought her own craft to that store and to the business, and perhaps Morrowind. What would you be doing this fine morning as the day has broken and the shop has been open for at least an hour? What does Morrowind do?
Well, I'd probably be close to my counter, making sure that everything looks clean and there's no dust, and making sure that Rusty stays far away from the candles because he's already broken like 3 of my jars and they're kind of hard to replace. And it's not his fault, but he just keeps breaking them. And I might be reading a book.
And as you're reading a book, of course, you hear that crash that you most dreaded. Sorry!
Rusty,
Sorry! It wasn't me, I swear!
it's okay, Rusty. Everyone
Okay.
breaks up sometimes.
Inside the store, there's a couple of older gentlemen dressed up. Taking a look at them, you recognize them as, not necessarily nobles, but more in the working class. Not servants nor slaves, but those who hold a profession. They're having a discussion, and they begin to get into a heated debate about certain going-ons within the city. Now, Morwin, your nose is in the book. Of interest, or what? How do you handle these situations?
She wants to know what they're arguing about, but she's not gonna stop reading her book. She'd stop reading it, but she'd still hold it up like she was reading it and be listening.
And they are not trying to hide what they're saying. In fact, they are talking quite normal. And if you, by just focusing your attention to them, you'll be able to pick up what they say. One man, gruff, a little bit tall and lanky, complaining, I can't believe the prices these days of the grain. Have you noticed? I swear, they say Rimorum has been quite prosperous despite all the misfortunes around the rest of the empire, but yet how are we paying such high prices? It's almost as if they are holding back on releasing the grain for sale. The other gentleman, again, a little shorter, a little stockier, definitely a person who works the fields. And he says, well, I reckon that today the magistrates are going to be addressing the crowd in one of their monthly forums. I swear we should get all the farmers united so that we can go there and start asking questions. Because it ain't fair. I absolutely agree. Well, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. And kind of turns around and looks at Morrowind, and you see his kind of eyes wide and pardon me, spirit.
Behind a book.
Where do I find that ghost sound? You know, the lotion?
Oh, the salve. I thought you said salad, and I was really confused.
Do I look like I need a salad?
No, definitely not.
Oh, and he kind of takes a back about that. Like, oh, okay.
Do you want a salad?
No, just a salve, please, miss.
I could get you a salad.
No, I apologize. Just a salve, if you could.
Oh, okay. Well, I have some right here. It is 5 silver pieces.
5 silver.
Is that too expensive? 4.
It is 4 silver.
Okay.
And slowly he kind of pulls it in and he says to his friend, if this wasn't the only thing that helps get it up, I swear. There you are, miss.
I'm sorry, what are you getting up with it?
he kind of takes it and just kind of shuffles away, paying no attention. As these 2 gentlemen leave the shop.
What is he getting up with it?
2 people walk by. One with this long white hair, and you see some sticks and flowers.
Oh,
and the other wearing sort of a dress that's seen better days. But what stands out is the pink hair and bright yellow eyes. And Kesu and Ri, as you have now, it's been about a week since Eve was saved from burning fire, and during that time you've been in the woods, and now you're making it to the city, to one of the favorite places that you like to go, the place with the flower pictures that are in the window, and the smell of cheese that makes your tummy rumble.
This is the one. Sabine, this is the one. Do you see?
Right. There's so much here.
Yes. Are you ready to go inside?
Yeah. I am perfectly fine to go inside. Yes.
Are you actually fine?
I am perfectly fine.
Good. We will go inside and we will act like we belong there, and everything will be fine. And then we will leave and we will go back to the woods, and it will be safe. Yes. All right.
Right. Safe. Yep. Right.
We will make this as quick as we possibly can. And Eve kind of like, before going in, she goes towards the window first and kind of brushes her hand over the logo, essentially, of the shop, the sigil that depicts the flowers and herbs, and her hand goes towards one flower in particular, the asphodel flower, and her hand lingers there for a moment before she shakes her head and goes steps inside the door of the shop.
Yeah. Immediately you get now a stronger whiff and the smells of all the different types of cheese. And not only that, different types of herbs and plants. And the mix seems to somehow work, despite it being so odd to see a place that focuses on the dairies and the makings of goat, and yet somehow mixed in with the herbs. Not probably knowing what most shops are, you just kind of look at this one as, this is unusual to what you've seen.
Would I see certain gifts that I left for them on the porch? Would I see them on anywhere?
And more when in the shop, are there any things that are displayed?
Yes. So everyone kind of has their own little corner. And Joe's counter is right in the middle. And there is a shelf up high behind the counter where Joe's counter is. And it has a big sign that says, "Not for sale." And they're all in a line displayed. Very beautiful.
Okay. Well, good for the sign. Sabine can't read, so as soon as she would see those, she would make her way over.
And could you please describe the gifts that would have been left?
Yes. She would have left different types of animals that have either died or that she has found, fairies, maybe some chipmunks, armored toads especially. There are some that are dressed up as husband and wife and they're dancing. There are some, there are like enemies that are fighting with swords. There are some that are bathing in dirt. And there are others that one is reading a book, but the book is upside down. Things like that. And she would make her way over to one particular one of two squirrelions. One has his back to the other, but there's a sword that is rammed into the back of the other squirrel. And the one that is stabbed has a quite distressing look on his face. So she would go over to look at them.
Okay. As you're looking, Eve is inside the store.
Yeah.
And Morwen behind him.
No, go.
Yeah. Please go. What would Eve be doing as Sabine has clearly found what she was looking for? And
should first take a look back at Sabina and kind of notice Eve has seen these sort of statues before as she's been staying with Sabine for about a week. These taxidermied little sculptures that are somehow both endearing and disturbing at the same time. She sees Sabine looking at those and just first, why are you friends here, Sabine?
Oh, I left them gifts. They seemed sad and like they needed some, But, hold on, Eve, and she will go over to Jamroar and Specklefleck and, if there's anything for her to stand on, she would stand on it to reach up and grab the two squirrelions off their perch.
There was a stool that had some sort of stuff that really didn't belong on the stool. So that was certainly something that you can take. And
the whole time that she's doing this, Eve is like, you can't just move. You can't just, this is a shop. This is, they think that this is theirs. You can't just move that and start standing on it. You can't, you're not supposed to do that in a shop.
Right. Hi, how are you doing, Jamroar? Oh, are you being naughty again?
Please don't draw attention to us.
Yeah. Oh, and then she's just going to be talking to each individual one and is just like talking to every single one of the different animals.
Excuse me. Those aren't for sale. Joe gets really mad when people touch them.
Oh, it's not. Oh, really? Oh, that's so
Excuse
naughty.
Yes. Ma'am. She doesn't. She's simply saying hi to the creature. She will.
Joe's gonna get really mad at her.
But you need to put those down, Speed.
They need to go back.
Go.
They live up there.
Oh, that's all right. They used to live with me.
You made them?
I did.
You are the one who's been giving them to Joe?
Yeah?
Oh my gods!
I was just saying...
Charlotte's here.
I was just saying hello.
Sam, would you be willing to sell some?
Sell?
Yeah, lots of people have wanted to buy them, but Joe says no. They are a gift from the gods, and they need to be kept safe. So that's why they live up there, and nobody's allowed to touch them. But if you make them, lots of people would pay money for them.
Bean, remember we've talked about money. How you trade that for things that you want.
Right. I would not like to do that very much.
Okay, well, can you, I'm sorry, you called them Jamor and Specklefleck?
Yes, that is their names.
Yeah, they need to go back.
All right. I was just making sure that they were being well cared for and that they're eating properly and that they are all right. Have they been sick at all? Are you giving them water?
Oh, we're taking very, very good care of them.
Oh. All right.
You hear a little voice come from just behind the curtain that's... Oh, I like to take them out. Take them to the goats. And let them ride the goats. Joe.
Sorry.
You do.
What did you say? Can you say it again?
I'll get in trouble. As you see like the familiar like hair and you see like Marco's face kind of pop out through the curtain, like, there's customers, quiet. Well,
at your counter. The shop's open.
And as Marco begins to kind of start coming out, you hear kind of movement in the back. Big movement of obviously a bigger man is coming from the back room, and out comes this man that's just kind of big shoulders, pot belly, gruff white beard, and his forearms are just massive for the size of his body. And he comes out and looks, oh, Morrowind, hey. Oh, glad you're here. You have customers. I apologize. Well, I will come back later. Please find me afterward.
Joe, wait. This is the person who made them.
Yes, you're sorry. It was something with an S, and maybe rhymed with sardine. That's all I remember.
How do you know her name, Joe? You said you didn't know her.
Sardine.
Anyways, Morrowind, poor Rusty. He's killed. Sorry. Georgie went to a better place, and this one here was making him into a stuffed goat that was going to be a practice goat for him to practice taking care of. And, so he doesn't crush them anymore.
Oh.
With his hugs.
He loves a lot.
Yes, he does. And this one, Sarbine.
Her name is Sabine.
Apologies, miss. And he just kind of goes a little bit red.
Sabine's just like, yep, that's my name. Yep.
And he's looking and, please. Anyways, I do apologize more when you're not busy. Just come see me and I'll happily just kind of tell it. I have a favor to ask of you.
Okay. Is it gonna be gross again?
No, it's not going to be gross again. More when you kind of say it like that, it sure puts me in a funny spot in front of these fine ladies. No, nothing like that. Goat herding is quite dirty. Nothing to do with goats. It's more of a message. My brother's in town.
You have a brother?
Yeah, I never mentioned him.
No?
Well, fair. Yeah, I have a brother. His name is Simon, and he's visiting from the city Ukumar.
Oh. Come on. Yeah.
That's the capital city of the empire there, dear.
Right. I knew that.
Okay. Well, anyways, he's sort of a kind of a messenger of type, and he's coming in. Apparently, I got a letter from him saying he's be coming in the next couple of days or so, and he'll be presenting a something to the magistrates, and apparently he'll be there. The magistrates, they're the politicians. Do you know what politicians are there, Morrowind?
No, I'm not stupid.
I'm sorry. It's just the fact that I'm not quite sure what you remember and everything. Again, I apologize.
Library.
Too much information. You really should find me after.
I go to the library like every day. I probably know more about politics here than you do.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But anyways, my brother's going to be there. And I was hoping that you'd pass him a message for me. I won't be able to make it tonight. The Penelope's, caught a cold and that. And so I'm going to be hanging back.
So, Joe, do I have to cook dinner for Rusty and Marco and Simon now?
No. Simon's only passing through. I doubt he will even attempt to come to our shop. Let's just say his employee. It's not like him to be in these parts of the neck of the woods. If you catch my drift, he's sort of a captain of sorts. Anyways, basically what I'm trying to say, Morrowind, is he won't be stopping by, and I won't be able to go see him. What's that?
Is he a captain on a ship?
Yeah, with men, captain of men, armies and that.
Oh, okay.
I really hate to interrupt this lovely discussion, but I would appreciate if I could. I am looking for something in particular, if there's anyone who could potentially help me.
Oh, right. Sorry. Hi, I'm Morwin.
Morwin. It's nice to meet you. Hi.
And I'm Joe. Welcome to Joe's Odds and Ends. I'll just be kind of stepping in the back now. I apologize again. Morwin just comes to me afterwards. And then he just kind of, big rough guy kind of disappears in the back.
Bye, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, Morwin. You sell sort of herbal medicines of sorts. Am I correct in that?
Are you looking for a salve? Some guy just told me that this is the only thing that gets it up. I don't know what he's talking about, but maybe it just helps him get up in the morning.
I can guarantee you that is not what he meant, and that is frankly disgusting. But
what does it mean, Eve? What does it mean?
I'll explain it to you later, Sabine.
Oh. All right. I get up, don't I? I stand up. I can get up right now. But I don't need a salve.
I will explain it to you later.
All right. All right.
What kind of remedy do you need, Eve?
Something for headaches, shaking. I don't know, anything that could help when you just generally feel pretty much awful all around. Your body is kind of dying slowly.
Do you need help with?
She has.
I'll help you with like an addiction.
She wakes up screaming at night.
Do you want help
Quite a
sleeping?
lot.
I think at this point here, with Eve describing and you sitting in the back counter, you can certainly do a check if you're wanting to try and do a diagnosis. Now, in this sort of thing, do you have a lore medicine?
I have medicine and I am trained.
Perfect. That would be an appropriate role to do.
Okay, here we go. Okay. That is 24.
Yeah. I think if unless Eve is trying to hide any sort of symptoms, you can certainly attempt to roll a deception to, kind of her just kind of looking at you and you sort of described your symptoms. She can certainly.
I'd say she's not hiding anything necessarily. She's not necessarily making it super easy for you to like investigate. Like she's just like kind of like if you get close to her to try to like she just backs up and type of thing, but she'll eventually you'd be able to.
I think I know what you need.
You do?
I have something for that. Do you mind telling me what kind of substance you took?
What are you talking about?
Well, sometimes people drink some things that give them headaches, or sometimes people eat things, or sometimes they're poisoned.
Poisons? What you? Can we?
Did you eat something that didn't agree with you?
Well, not recently, not anytime.
How long has this been going on for?
About a week, 2 weeks, perhaps. Sabine, how long? It's been a week. How long was I?
Okay, I made
many moons.
Thank you, Sabine.
It's been quite a few moons.
Moon cycles or just moons?
Moon cycles. Are there many moons?
Like, was the moon really, really big, like a circle? And then was it really, really skinny, like a sliver? And then did it get big again? Or,
I'm aware of it growing larger and then smaller, almost like a fingernail. But it went up and then went down, and it did shift in different sizes, but it wasn't that long.
So it was just like several nights.
Yes, there was a fire that I pulled her from.
You were in a fire?
Yes, apparently. And she kind of like gives a slight look to Sabine, not necessarily angry, but a little bit like tense.
Are you okay?
I'm fine now. I'm really it's I just needed some rest and to I don't know, there's some sort of if that could have anything to do with what I'm experiencing. I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. I'm just looking for something that will help, please.
Okay, well, I did just make this up for a different customer, but they probably won't come in until a couple of days. So I can just make some more tomorrow. And you can have this one.
And she takes it up off of a high shelf that Rusty would never be able to reach. And it's just a little vial. And she gives it to you and she says,
That's 10 silver.
Yes, right.
And don't worry, I won't tell anyone that you bought it if you don't want them to know.
Do you have silver, Eve?
If you don't have any silver, if the first one can be on the house, it's okay. I trust you.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, you look trustworthy, and Sabine obviously knows Joe. She's been bringing him gifts for months. So Joe must know where to find her, and if you're with Sabine, it's fine.
True.
It's on the house.
Eve,
Have it.
Eve doesn't trust anybody.
Who has? Oh, sorry. Just a quick question. Who has a perception of a +5? Who is highly trained in? Anyone else?
Yes.
You are? Okay, perfect. So Eve
I'm
and
+6.
Okay, well,
I don't know that.
Yeah, you really hear this. In fact, while Eve is responding back to Morrowind, your ears pick it up first. But you hear a melody that's coming down the corridor, coming out the door, and you can hear it to where and in fact, you know what? You're not familiar with the Rimorum at all. All you know is coming from that direction over there. You two, who are familiar with Rimorum, would know that it's coming from the Market Central. It's where all the visiting shops will set up kiosks from all over. Every weekend there's always something new, and that's usually a place where any performances are being had. And certainly, we'll start with we'll have a roll of Sabine, please, as you pick up the ear. Let's see if you can hear what.
Doop, doop, doop. Ooh, that was good. I rolled a 17. What am I rolling? Perception?
Yeah, it's a perception.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can do either.
23.
Yeah, you got 17? Ooh. 23. You hear, in fact, what would they hear? Or
They'd hear a little melody and a wisp of a. Let me tell you a story of a man named Johannes, the greatest warrior in the land. He slayed men by day and women by night. My good friend Joe. And so I'm like walking down the street.
Sabine would 100% walk out the door to find out where that's coming from.
Sabine just leaves mid-conversation.
Probably holding one of her statues.
Oh, Sabine, wait.
She's gone.
Where are you going?
Joe's gonna miss them.
We can get. I'll get it back from her. Look, When you seem like a nice person, I will accept this trust from you, but I would advise you not to give it so freely.
Okay.
If you have...
I mean, it's worked for me so far. A lot of people come back. And the people that don't, I figure they just really, really needed it.
You just let people steal from you.
It's not stealing if it's a gift.
Suppose it's not. Well, in any case, thank you. I will go and try to get that back from her.
Make sure you eat this with some food. It will upset your stomach.
What? Is there anything in particular that you recommend?
I really like bread.
I can do that. Yes, excellent.
I've
Thank
never
you.
eaten it before, so I don't really know, but I like bread, so I always suggest bread.
Seems like a good suggestion. Safe suggestion. Thank you, Morwen. I will probably be back. This works. Well, I'll be back. I'm going to. And she kind of just starts gesturing, and then she follows Sabine out the door a little bit.
Okay. I'll see you in like a week.
Right.
Give
Or
Orin
when you're like,
for me.
what was the last thing you said?
Oh, I said, give Orin a tip for me.
And as you leave the shop, Orin is on his way down the street. You're getting to the normal spot, and it's kind of like that little theater where it's kind of lower, where performers usually go, and then it has like little stairs that kind of make seating. And you see, as Orin is walking towards that part of the market, of course you see your fans, a couple of ladies there holding, there he is, and they all start whispering, giggling. A couple of men as well, like, oh, what's he gonna sing today? Just like everyone's kind of standing around waiting, and then you come in. Are you strumming the entire way?
I think it would come to a sudden stop of music as I walked up, and then just let it breathe for a minute, let the tension rise, and then just kind of lean over and go, "Morning, everyone. Anybody have any good stories they would like to hear?"
And almost immediately, as if it's a competition, like between the three women that were kind of standing. Play the one about the gladiator fight. Don't play the one about the guy that went and did the thing over with the sailboat. Tell the one about the sailboat again. What was it again? It was a siren, you silly goose. And they're just kind of shouting now, please play.
Well, I heard you, beautiful one on the right. I'll play the one about the siren. Of course.
And she just
start strumming, singing a song about a man who wakes up and doesn't remember anything, and tell a story of this man who slays this siren and saves a crew of hundreds of people and delivers them back safely to land, and they, of course, throw themselves down upon him and lay their treasure and gold at him, and he becomes a hero of all of the land. And he tells this grand story of how he slew the siren.
Roll a performance, and given the fact that you have fans around, and of course you'll get a circumstance bonus of +2 on this. Ooh. Just because you do have already some fans there that will add to the excitement. And if you fail this, it will be hilarious.
5 demerits.
Demerits.
A lot of demerits lost. I've only ever seen 2.
With a +7, I rolled a 10.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I jinxed you.
That's 7 demerits.
Your fans were just like looking at you and like, well, it's still good.
Oh, sorry.
People have bad days.
I'm so sorry.
You have some.
There's something caught my throat. I apologize. Let me try that again. Let's move on to a new story. How about the one of the fairy princess that was caught in the cage, and he'll start again with a new song about this little fairy princess that was caught in the cage and who was released by a wandering hero, and she went out into the forest and became a beast and slew all of those who hurt her. And it'll tell this grand story of this fairy princess.
Attempting to roll again, you won't have a bonus on this time. You'll do a straight roll. Your fans are still loyal, but they are getting a couple people booed, and you might have.
That one apparently it didn't add the circumstance bonus, so it would have been a 12. Wow.
One less.
That's
yeah.
better. We'll take a 23. 23 is a little better.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you know what? The first little bit, whatever, maybe a little bit of the dust got into the throat, but the second performance, my gosh, I think you've definitely kept up your reputation. In fact, some people began to throw some coins, and if you have a D6, you can go ahead and please roll that. What was it?
A 2.
All right. With a 2, that's okay. You just you got yourself 2 coppers, and that's fine. The first one and the second performance, you made it back, and you made some money. Behind you, however, Sabine, I want to know, like, as you're approaching where the music is coming from, are you just walking up front? What are you doing? Like, is it?
Oh, she would be walking behind him. She is barefoot. Her feet are very mud covered. She's in a ripped sort of dress. There is a lot of bones. There is there are rips in her dress that have been sewn and patched with some very obvious grass. Her hair is very wild and braided and has leaves and feathers. There's also like a little cage that has a dead fairy in it. So she's very awesome. She looks freaking dope, all right? She's walking down the street and she's like focusing on the music and the dude playing, and she's just kind of like holding the statue like this and just kind of like petting it, and kind of goes up to him. And the first time she was probably one of the ones that was like, That's not the way that I've heard that song before. It's very off key, very not, do not sound great to my ears. But then when he's saying about the fairy princess and everything, she was like, oh, fairies. I like fairies. And then she would kind of go up and get really close to him, like behind, to smell him.
He smells good.
And I would bet. And afterwards, once people started like throwing their money and everything, she would definitely try to pick one up. She'd be like, oh, what is that? Why are people throwing things? And she would take out a couple pebbles from her like side, like little satchel, and like throw them on the ground too. Like, oh, we're just throwing things. All right.
And yeah, I mean, walking up right behind the performer now, are you doing it discreetly? Is Sabine discreet, or is Sabine just like, hello, tell me about your mother?
Very whimsical.
Like, what is
Yeah. She no, she's there unless she's like hunting or like trying to like actively be hidden. Nah. She's just like,
okay.
hmm.
And in that case, then, Oren, you can certainly roll a perception. See if you can sense this person just walking right up behind you. Given the fact that she's not being discreet, you'll get a +2 circumstance bonus on this, just because as a performer, you always, have to watch your back. You are used to people coming and trying to get a cup of feel. Was that
18?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could sense her coming and maybe even smelled very earthy tones.
Very nice way of putting that.
You can just turn around and look at her and go, oh, looks like someone let you out of the forest, hey? Haven't seen you in town in a while.
I did walk out of the forest. You've seen me. I've not seen you before.
Oh, Oren here sees just about everything.
Oh, what do you see?
Well, I've seen...
Can I see it? Is it here?
Yeah, you just have to look around.
All right.
For instance, I see you, but I see somebody behind you that I don't think I've seen before. Is this a friend of yours? Because Eve's behind her, right?
Eve, as soon as she got up to Sabina and saw who it was and would have recognized Oren playing the music, and as soon as she did, she would have been like, that guy. And she's kind of like, she's basically now like, is hiding behind Sabine, hoping that she weren't going to notice that she was there, but
I think I do recognize you. I think if I seen you with your dad? Somebody.
No.
Eve, your dad? You did not tell me you had a dad.
I don't have it. Not, at least not that I know of. Beautiful music, as always.
Thank you.
It sounded a bit off to me, but that's all right.
Well, what should I have added to it? What did I do wrong?
I don't know. I've heard the one song before, but it was a different type of melody. There were no words, just You know, like the vibration in your throat.
It's called a hum.
Hum.
See, it kind of sounds like the word, right?
Interesting.
So you've heard someone that's a fan of my music humming it.
Hum.
Curious.
Fan.
Sabine, is Sabine still holding?
Yep.
A thing, yeah.
Yeah. Eve's gonna like, Sabine, remember how it has your squallion has a new home.
Oh.
Oh,
That lovely girl, Morwen.
Morwen.
Were you two visiting Joe?
Morwen.
Oh,
I
that
believe I've seen this one at Joe's place.
This?
Yeah. Is he a friend of yours? The little
This is
creature.
This is Benji.
Benji.
Yes.
I like Benji.
I do too. He's quite nice, but a little naughty sometimes. He likes to get into my food
You know?
store and make a mess, but he's been with Morwen for a while, so I was just checking on him.
I've had the same thing said about me. I'm nice, but a little naughty sometimes.
No.
Do you want...
Well, that's quite lovely. We actually have to go.
Oh,
Thank you again for your lovely music, Sabine.
of course, Eve. It was finally nice to meet you. I'm,
Yes.
again, Oren.
Yes,
I would love
Oren.
to see you around more. I'm sure you like the music.
She does not like people that much.
Oh.
Don't. It's not that I don't like people. I just don't.
Eve, your eyes wander around as you're talking, and you're immediately you kind of remember where you were at. And this has to do in the past, during the time that you were with Trick. You recall a day that you were in the marketplace, and you see a sign that has flowers on it. It's a florist sign.
She stops and goes pale. And kind of like glances toward that shop and then away again. Kind of like this, hiding her face a little bit in that direction. Well, we have to. We should be getting back home, right, Sabine? Back home, and we need to bring this one,
Yes.
Benji, back home as well.
Yes.
Eve,
Are you all right?
I want you to make a wisdom, a will save here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, just a
roll will. Yeah.
will save. Okay.
As you're here and your memories are flooding, the anxiety of getting back to Morrowind.
Mm-hmm. So that was a 9.
Okay. Oren and Sabine, as you're standing there and you know having a conversation, Eve comes up and begins to try and pull you to go. All of a sudden, you see her. She just stops, and her eyes widen, and it's almost as if, even though her face itself is already sort of pale, she grows paler. As Eve, you hear the voice, "Darling, what are you doing? You see what you made me do? That's why you cannot leave my side. You did this. Shame on you."
she's frozen. And then I think as soon as she unfreezes, she's like looking around.
You would see Sabine right in your face. Like just staring at you, thinking that you're gonna like pass out again or something. Are you all right?
We need to go. I'm fine. We need to go. That's all.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. We're perfectly fine.
You should
Right,
seem fine.
Right. We are.
You need help.
We're perfectly fine.
No, I don't need help. I don't
You seem
need help from anyone.
okay.
Just need to leave.
Orin's gonna turn to the crowd and just say, well, seems as though the show's over for today, folks. Don't forget to tell someone you love them.
More!
Like I said, don't forget to tell someone you love them, and we will see you tomorrow.
And of course, your fans were just waiting, watching, and you can tell that some of the ladies were a bit jealous. You can read it right on their faces. And they're like, fine, tomorrow, please come without no distractions, please.
And
Sabine just waves at them.
Orin might kind of follow behind the two, but like at a respectable distance. He doesn't want to be like, walking right with them, but also he wants to walk at a distance that like he's close enough to help because, he realizes there's something off and just wants to see what's going on, wants to help.
Sabine would say to Eve, like as she's kind of wrapped her arm around Eve's, guiding her back to Morwen's shop, she would see Orin following them, and she would just say, that, the guy that was singing appears to be walking with us the same direction. Isn't that funny? I wonder where he's going.
Sabine, I think he's following us. Most likely. Unless he's also going to the shop. Which I suppose is possible. We need to give this back to Morwen and then we need to go.
Right.
Is there anything else that you needed in the city while we are here? Did you?
I don't know. I might. The little creature I told you about, Corby,
Yes.
I'm worried. What if she was brought here like I was? Do you think she could have been?
It's possible, yes. We should keep an eye out for any signs, but if she was brought here against her will, and if she is in danger, then we must be all the more careful.
But I will keep 2 eyes open for her. Because I have 2 eyes.
Yes, 2 eyes. Yes, it's sort of an expression. When you say keep an eye out, it's really the same thing as saying you're just going to make sure you're looking.
So one would not take their eye out then, right?
No.
Oh.
The eye stays in the head.
Right. Or they wind up dead.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Exactly that.
Pretty much.
As you're having this conversation, walking down the street, all of a sudden there's a little bit of a commotion, and a person starts running. And Eve, as you're the first one, and kind of looking back and talking with Sabine, you need to make an acrobatics check. As a person kind of slips out of one of the alleyways and just starts bolting it and runs right into your direction and actually bumps into you.
Yeah.
So acrobatics, whether or not you maintain your balance.
If this is anything like real life, this isn't going to go well, but we'll...
With Sabine having her arm around her, give her any circumstance bonus?
She rolled okay.
With you talking, and that you're might be a -2.
I retract that statement.
Thank you, Sabine. Yes, in fact, a -2 to that roll. What did you roll?
Well, in that case, it's a 14. I rolled a 16. I rolled okay.
Well, almost made it.
Oh, okay. Almost did the -2?
So you're almost there, and you know what? It was just that one thing when the eye pulling out. So yeah, of course, with no eyes, they'll be dead. And it was just that comment of like, wait, what? And boom, in the back, and you fall forward. Luckily, Sabine is there, so. Sabine, go ahead and roll an athletics just to see if you either want to catch her or you can roll an acrobatics to see whether or not you maintain your balance. Which would you rather do?
I feel like, if she's holding on to her, I feel like the only her reflex would be to catch her.
Yeah.
So
go ahead and roll athletics. Roll athletics, see if you can to hold her up.
Okay.
And she bumps into you.
So with this, do I just click the dice then beside the +7?
Yes.
Okay. And then no circumstance bonuses or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
Oof.
Oh no, what was it? I didn't see.
You didn't have the circumstance
Hey!
bonus, but...
I didn't have a circumstance bonus.
Oh.
Yeah, so great. You rolled an 11. That's okay, because you know what? You saved your little friend, Berlian, who just about got bumped out of your hands, but you were able to hold it close. Eve, on the other hand, I'm sorry, you fall down to the ground as you get pushed over by this guy that was running, and wearing a hood, bumps right into you, falls down, and as you're laying on the ground, you hear something slide, as if he dropped something. Go ahead and make a perception roll with a -2, because just given the circumstance, as this guy begins to frantically begin to look around for what he dropped.
Close enough to see it fall out?
Ooh.
Yeah, Oren. Yeah, you're standing. You're watching the whole thing. So actually, you know what? You probably go ahead and roll a perception as well.
Meanwhile, Sabine's just like, "Oh, are you all right?
Yeah, that'll probably work.
You're all right."
So 24.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Eve.
Ooh, can I roll one just for fun?
23.
23. Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think you added your circumstance bonus, but it's okay. We'll take it.
Do we have circumstance bonus?
Oh yeah. You did -2, so you still have. Oh, did you put your
I did. I thought I did.
You have to click add.
Oh, I forgot to. Okay, well then it's a 21.
21.
Do I have any circumstance bonus?
Well, you're saving your chipmunk friends, so
True.
you would have a -2. So
Dang it.
you're
Minus what? Frick.
-2.
Fine. That's fine. Because at least
You did great.
he was saved. Frick. That's fine.
Fair enough.
Prickles was
Yeah,
saved.
you know what? And for rolling such a high roll, what did you roll again? You rolled a 24, is what you said? Oren? Keegan? So seeing this whole event take place, you're inspired for a song. And in fact, you know, this whole scene is just comedic genius. You're like, you know, but then all of a sudden, as you see where Eve falls down and the man fall down and get up, you see sliding on the ground a white mask. Eve also has a good view of a ceramic white mask that slide across the floor. And it has these kind of black paintings on it. And then quickly the man realizes, grabs it, shoves it into his coat pocket, and then just pull it over his head again and begins to run.
Can I go over like as he's getting up and help him up?
If you go over there and with a perception roll and running there, he will quickly grab it, and even if you attempt to put your hand on him, he will hit you away.
Yeah.
So unless you're planning to restrain him or anything like that,
Can I trip
he
him?
will. As he's getting up and
Only because he bumped into Eve, knocked her on the ground, and almost had me drop Prickles.
Yeah, okay. You can attempt to trip him because Eve fell on the ground and
You said like,
I thought his name was.
if that is a natural reaction for Sabine to do, then for sure you can absolutely go ahead and roll an athletics roll.
okay.
And I'm gonna roll acrobatics. Oh goodness.
Yes, finally a good roll, guys. Haha.
Okay, well, yeah, that will be enough. Let's see here.
Pushes him right back.
Right, there we are.
Oren's inspired to write a song about puddle of mud.
Oh, you know what? Just as you stick your foot out and you're like, I got him, he just steps over it. Just missed him as he then begins to run.
Did question, any recognition of the mask or anything?
If you're attempting to look at it, you can attempt a lore occultism.
Also, Sabine would yell and say, you owe Mr. Prickles an apology, and Eve, you also owe Eve an apology.
Meanwhile,
Apology.
Oren will run over and help Eve up, and then look over at Sabine and goes, "Is Benny okay?"
Who's Benny?
Your little guy.
Do you mean Prickles?
Yeah, well, you told me his name was Benny earlier. Is it Prickles?
I don't remember saying that.
Oh, well, is Mr. Prickles okay?
Yes, he's
help
fine.
Eve up.
Thank you.
Good. Are you okay, Eve?
Eve, yes.
I'm all right, thank you. Oren. Should really watch where they're going.
They should. I agree.
That was strange, though. That was a suspicious-looking figure, wasn't it?
Anybody who runs around with the hood up tends to have something to hide.
What if they're trying to keep warm? He might have been cold.
It's the middle of the day and it's warm out.
Huh. You never know.
I guess.
And we need to go. To give him back, and we need to. And I rolled a 10 on that check. I don't know if that's anything or not.
Yeah, this mask, it does stand out to you. You just can't place your finger on it as to what exactly it means.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly, it just kind of is left in the back of your mind.
Mask looked familiar, but I don't know why.
Would I be able to smell the air to see if I can keep it in my mind in case that figure runs into me or Eve again?
Yeah. For you, yes, that is something that would apply. Go ahead and roll a perception yes, to see if you can get a good whiff.
She's got a top tier sniffer.
Follow my nose. It always knows.
Are you freaking kidding me? Come on. I mean, not bad.
You would maybe if you were up close, maybe you might be able to recognize, but there is that smell of that darn cologne of one Orin who's standing right beside you. So it's just sort of, it's a mix of smells. One smells so good, and yeah.
Deal.
It's actually just a natural musk. No cologne needed.
Natural musk, yeah. His cologne is natural.
He just sweats good smells.
Smells like.
Roll to see if you're rolling your perspiration. Let's go. Let's go.
Perspiration.
Smells like.
Perspiration check. Orange, specifically perspiration check.
With a little bit of manly. It's a performance check, of course. And of course, always a hint of goat salve.
Oh, no.
He's Mormon's
You
top
think
customer.
customer of the month?
There's a reason he knows Joe so well.
Wendy has special recipe just for Orin.
Yep.
So as the day begins to go, and as you go back to the shop to go and return sweet Mr. Prickles, Mr. Benny Prickles, back to Morrowind. Morrowind, at this time, you've already spoken with Johannes, and Joe has told you about essentially just a message to give to Simon, his brother. And he asked you to please pass him this letter, which is a scroll. Please give him this letter. And it's just like this kind of little scroll. And I don't know when I'll see it, or it's been a while, but it's a letter that I have been trying to give to him. So if you were to give it to him, it is from our dear Ma, and it's something that yeah.
Are you gonna not be here on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I not be here on purpose?
No, you go, girl. In fact, you know what? You haven't been to see the politics. How fun would that be? Huh. To see it up close, and maybe we can find out what's going on.
You want me to go with Simon?
Yeah, go go to the forum. Go see the Simon will be there with the magistrates.
Should I call
And just tell him
Simon?
I don't know if he'd respond well to you randomly calling him Uncle Simon.
You're probably right.
In fact, just refer to him as Captain Flick. And Johannes Flick sent you.
Okay. Don't call you Joe.
No.
Okay.
You could call me Joe. It really doesn't matter. But if you use my first name fully, there's a good chance that he'll know who you're talking about.
Okay. And his name is Captain Flick. Flick.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Did you say lick?
No, I said Flick.
I have cotton in my ears. I apologize there, Morrowind. And he kind of hands you the scroll. And
funny sometimes. It's okay.
it's just, too many hits to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my excuse?
You got the biggest hit of all. Anyways, good seeing you, Morrowind, and just tell me how it goes tonight. Don't worry about dinner. I'll take care of it. Penelope is doing fine. Poor girl has always been going out at night, caught a cold. But I told her stay in bed. So I'll be keeping an eye on her. Don't you worry.
Okay. She should definitely not go out at night.
That's what I keep telling her.
Nobody should go out at night.
That's what I say. Those are the rules. You know the rules. Don't go out at night.
Nobody goes out at night. Nobody goes to the woods. Nobody goes in the streets.
That's right. That's right.
You're inside.
That's right. Before following your dreams, remember, goats first. And you can only dream of goats. So really, Morrowind, it's been you've been an absolute blessing. And I swear Arcus is smiling upon us because you have been brought to me and you've been a true part of this household. I cannot express how happy I am for you to be here.
I definitely only ever dream of goats.
Good. That's good. Maybe just keep that to yourself. Only keep it within the family.
Joe, I did start some vegetable soup. So you just kind of have to stir it. And then you can give it to Penelope. I was going to eat some, but I guess I don't have to anymore. So
I appreciate that, girl. Thank you so much. You're an absolute. I love the vegetable soups that you make. What is it with the peas and the corns?
No, there's no peas or corn in it.
Oh.
It's tomato and carrot and onion. Sorry. I should have made it with the peas and the corn. I'm so sorry, Joe.
Damn it, girl. One time, all I asked, peas and corn, once in a blue moon. All good. Don't worry about it. Just do me this favor and I'll be forgiven. And
scroll sealed.
The scroll is sealed, yeah. It has a nice bow that's wrapped around it. It's actually laced with gold flecks, so it glimmers in light. And you can see there a little crest of an F, just like
so it's like
wax steel. Yeah.
Does it perchance have the same crest that maybe Joe has on a ring on his finger?
It most certainly does.
Okay. After Joe leaves, she's going to try and soften the wax a little bit and read it. And she's taking the bow.
As you attempt.
Candle.
There you go. You just get a little candle and, well, let's see how well you do it. As you bring a candle close to the paper scroll to melt the wax, go ahead and roll yourself. Let's see here. I'm going to say a crafting. Yeah, because you're going to be ultimately uncrafting this, breaking it down.
9.
Perfect. As you begin to melt it, and you realize that I don't think I've ever done this before. In theory, I've read this in a book. Did you read this in a book?
With library books.
Yeah. How to unseal a scroll. Unfortunately, the flame got really close and it began to melt it, and the paper began to char a little bit. And you're just, ooh. So you can see the F is now kind of sort of deformed and sort of dripping, and the paper edge is just sort of black as if it was charred. Just a wee bit.
Oh no. Joe's house, he's tried to save it from a fire, but it got a little charred.
That'll be a deception roll in the future. But you can certainly tell that to yourself in practice.
Please, Dad.
The evening, as you come back to the store and you come out with a scroll, again, I guess the trio follows into the store. The returning of the chipper monk. It's done in a ceremonial fashion, I imagine.
Thank you so much for bringing him back. See, I knew I was right to trust you.
Of course I would have brought him back. He was a gift.
You just wanted to take him on a field trip. Yeah. I understand. You just wanted to take him to see the world.
He just wanted air. He couldn't see the world. It's too big.
Well,
but I'll put him on the shelf.
You wanted him to hear Orin's song.
Well, sure.
A very valid reason.
Oh, hi, Orin. Are you here for dinner?
I sure am. Is Joe here still?
No, well, he is, but Penelope's sick, and he's avoiding someone.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so I think he's just gonna stay in back.
Okay.
Right. Well, this has been fun.
Do you want some soup? I made a lot.
Of soup?
Yeah, it has tomatoes and onions and carrots in it. It doesn't have peas and corn. I'm so sorry.
You know, I prefer carrots.
Oh.
I like the way you make it.
Thank you so much. Oops.
Do you have some of that I like?
Of what?
The bread?
Yeah,
You always make the best bread.
I do. I make really good bread.
Hey,
That's one thing that Joe always likes is bread. I like bread. Joe likes bread. Bread is good.
Hey, Sabine, I bet you'll like her bread.
What?
You should try
Do you
some
like
more
bread?
bread. It's
Bread?
delicious.
All right. Yes, that sounds perfectly fine. Sure. Eve?
You can tell she's was really ready to get out of there, but the idea of food is also not something she super wants to turn down.
Mm-hmm.
Eve, are you hungry?
She is always hungry. She loves to eat.
I'm going to get some bowls and some bread, and I'll be right back.
I felt that eye roll. Damn it, Sabine. Shut up.
Guys,
Bustles into the kitchen and gives everyone soup, and she gets a big loaf of bread that she probably made this morning.
beautiful, beautiful. This meal comes out. I get the smells immediately for those who are starving. Eve, it's something that just makes your stomach just begin to,
Yeah.
you know, just the smell. The bread is familiar to Sabine. Time that brings back memories to a village that you spent a little bit of time in, as there was a lot of bread baked in the morning. And Oren, one thing that you're aware of is the going-ons within the city. In fact, you're quite aware that the magistrates are meeting tonight. You are also quite aware that there is a lot of commotion, and the reality is there have been talks that came across your ears near the arena that there is a gathering. There's a couple agitators out there talking to the farmers to get them to go to this forum. Now, what this means is you suspect that it will be very entertaining because it seems that tensions are high and the protests are getting gathered. So this wouldn't be one to miss. You know that. And of course, Morwyn has a scroll that she needs to somehow claim that, the house burnt down. And clearly, this scroll needs to get to a Captain Flick. Sabine and Eve, during the dinner conversation, Joe would come out and talk about the city. The city life would come up. And Sabine, I'm curious, would any of this interest you, where tensions are high and people would be kind of gathering in terms of a sight to see?
I think she would in terms of curiosity because she's already here, and just like she flocked to the music, I think it would be more of like I'm curious to just see, but also now she wants to have her eyes out for Corvina because there's a lot of people here now, and it's starting like those feelings of like being in a city, sitting for a home cooked meal, and there's a father figure and the kids. It's like bringing back this life that she's had,
And now it's stirring these feelings. And now she's like, So anywhere that she could, I guess, get information as Eve taught her, she would do.
Eve, with food in your belly,
Mm-hmm.
finally able to think clearly.
Mm-hmm.
The mask you saw that you kept in the back of your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you realized you've seen that mask before, or a mask of its type. You've seen it in the mansion. And you know that it could be a clue in terms of where Trick went. We are going to stop here tonight as the tensions begin to rise, as evening begins to set. The stage is getting ready, for the magistrates are going to speak to the people because they are voted in by the people. And with Captain Flick amongst them, all the way from the great city of Ukumar, surely a message of the Emperor may be ready to be read. For why else would a captain come all this way to be in Rimorum? So we'll leave it there tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. This was episode 1. My goodness. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you live the best selves in your mortal roles. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.